Nagpa-biometrics ka na ba? Kung hindi pa, narito ang mga proseso ng pagpaparehistro para makaboto. Una, pumunta sa inyong lokal na COMELEC office o Office of the Election Officer sa inyong lugar. Magdala ng isa sa mga sumusunod na identification card. Dapat nakasulat dito ang kasalukuyang address ng tinutuluyan. Pangalawa, magpa-verify ng identity. Pangatlo, puna ng 3 kopya ng application form na ibibigay ng election officer. Maaari ding mag-download ng application form at sagutan ito sa website ng COMELEC. Dapat itong lagdaan at lagyan ng thumb mark sa presensya lamang ng election officer. Pang-apat, magpa-biometrics. Ang biometrics ng aplikante ay digitally captured gamit ang voter registration machine ng otorisadong VRM operator. Matapos ang mga naunang proseso, mabibigyan ng aplikante ng acknowledgement receipt.
Maayong adlaw ug welcome sa programang Talakayan hatod kaninyo sa Philippine Information Agency 10. Kauban of course ang ato ang mga higala no sa media dinhi sa siyudad sa Cagayan de Oro City. And of course gisuportahan usab sa atong partner cable TV stations. Ang ato ang pag media forum no karong adlaw naaduna po'y delayed telecast ni ini sa Parasat o sa Jade Cable TV no karong Sabado. So karong higayuna kauban nato ang ato ang mga private sector representative dinhi sa Northern Mindanao sa Regional Development Council 10. So kauban nato si Sir Rodolfo L. Minias. By the way, maghihigala aniya sila no this morning aron pagpahibalo sa umaabot nga gitawag nato na National Convention no sa RDC Private Sector Representatives nga ipahigayon usab dinhi sa syudad. So aniya si Sir Menyes, siya ang atong overall coordinator sa NatCon. Siya pod ang past president sa Pueblo de Oro Development Corporation. Maayong buntag, sir. And we also have Sir Jaime Rafael Pagyo. Siya ang ato ang chair Publicity and Promotion Committee sa RDC-PSR NatCom, and of course he is the current president sa Promote CDO Foundation Incorporated. And we also have si Sir Arsenio Sebastian III. Siya ang atong chair and program committee sa RDC-PSR NatCom. Siya po atong past president sa Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants dinhi sa CDO Misamis Oriental Chapter. And of course, from NEDA, ato ang Assistant Regional Director, si Ma'am May Esther Gamadel, sorry. So good morning, ma'am. So siguro aron sa pag-brief sa ato ang mga kauban sa media and of course sa ato ang pong mga tigsunod no sa cable TV atong hangyoon si Sir Rodolfo to tell us something about sa event nga ato ang pabuto next week, sir.
It's really a great privilege for us in the Regional Development Council, especially the private sector representatives who are here this morning to inform the public of the efforts of the Regional Development Council no, through the private sector to place Cagayan de Oro in a exemplary position no, among the private sectors in the whole country. No. There is going to be a 6th National Convention of Private Sector Representatives in the Regional Development Council, and this is to be able to put our best foot forward no, in terms of the successes that we've had in the past in this whole of government approach in the regional level. No? So this will be, the theme is enhancing the role of the private sector in public and private partnership in the midst of ASEAN integration. No? So it's a very interesting topic and a theme, and we will be inviting guests from the different government agencies as well as the private sector on their experiences and best practices and learnings in their efforts to have a public and private partner, not necessarily in PPPs but also in just collaboration between the two parties. This will be on October 14 to 16 at Ketkay Hotel, yes, Lux Hotel. So that in gist is the is the event that we are promoting this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. At Ma'am sa NEDA kung unsa ato ang role.
Ang NEDA Regional Office 10 dakong garbo nga utabang sa atong mga private sector para ma-realize gayud kining atong 6th national RDC-PSR convention. So this convention previously was conducted every 2 years. But last year, during the 5th convention that was hosted by Region 6, RDC 6, it was decided that another convention shall be conducted this year because this is already the final 3-year term of our current Regional Development Council along with our private sector representatives. So it would be fitting to end this term with the 6th National Convention. Ug ang katong theme nga that would be center all the discussions during the convention is I think very timely and relevant considering that this year the country will be entering into the integration into the ASEAN Economic Community. So, ang atong region would be in a better position to sell itself to a wider audience of government and private sector para ma-realize gayud katong atong vision nga ang Northern Mindanao would be the gateway to trade, industry, and even services in this part of the Philippines.
Ato sang paminawon ang atong chair sa Publicity and Promotion, Sir Pagyo.
Salamat sa pagduyog sa amo, no? Siguro ahay ta magsugod ani. Siguro mas mahitagaan atong background ng atong mga kaigsunan kung unsa magining kuano kining PSR o unsa sa ning RDC. Ang RDC gihimog na sa isa ka balaod, no, nga maghimo og grupo nga magtanaw sa ekonomiya o sa progreso sa isa ka lugar, and kini siya giapilan sa mga PSR nga gitawag og private sector representatives, no, mga representante kini sa mga non-government organizations nga ang konsepto ani nga ang private the private sector must participate in the growth of the area, and kabulig lugar niya ang gobyerno sa pag in the growth of the economy and the social growth for the area. So in a sense kining ang PSR mura ni siya og ang RDC ang gobyerno nga side mura ni siya og public private nga partnership, no? This is exactly what it is all about. And so kita sa private sector sa atong mga kauban nini si Bobby ug si Rudy mo'y nagrepresentar sa private sector, no? And so sa mga plano sa rehiyon, apil na sa gobyerno, napilugar ang private sector pag-represent kung unsa bay atong mga mulo, unsa bay atong hunahuna, kung asa ba paingon ang atong direksyon. So mo ni ang atong convention, ang 6th convention nato, nga nagtipok-tipok ang mga private sector, no? Para pagunahuna ug unsaon pag-enhance aning private and public sector participation in the light of the ASEAN market, no? Because there is already an ASEAN integration that is coming in nga some people think of it as a threat to our kay mahimo naman siya very competitive, no? So muna atong gatan-awon karon, and so muna ang atong gidapit lugar ang atong mga partisipante gikan sa tibok nasod nga mo apil aning atong convention. This is the 6th, no? Naakitay sa nahitala na natay mga 170 ka mga partisipante nga mo apil, no? Nga mo apil sa atong convention. O atong what we are intending to do is to strengthen the private sector and the public sector by taking a look on the public and private sector participations or projects nga nahitabo na sama sa proyekto sa enerhiya, no? Sa transportation, infrastructure or communications. So nakita sample ana unsay how the public and the private sector have been working together to make this a very successful endeavor, no? So ako sang let me take the chance no ihawag na ako ang mga kaigsuonan nato dinis Cagayan de Oro kikita may mag-host aning convention nga atong i-welcome no kini mga delegado sa lain-laing parte sa Pilipinas no. Let us welcome them, and then for the delegates who are coming, we came up with a very nice program courtesy of our very good Bobby Sebastian here in charge sa programa nga dili lang serious pero nasa'y fun no. So moadto kita sa mga lugar nga kahimutan sa atong mga delegado sama sa dahilayan o medyo mag-enjoy sa lugar sila sa pag-ani dinhi no. So after working and taking a look on say maayong tumong ang atong buhaton sa private and the public group government, then we can have also a little scenery and sights of northern Mindanao. So mo lugar to akong makasulti.
So to walk us through sa mga panghitabo no next week, atong paminahon si Sir Sebastian.
Well, ang kwan, it's a very big challenge for Cagayan de Oro because we have been adjudged to be one of the most competitive city in the whole of the Philippines, no? And definitely, yung mga private sector representatives of all over the Philippines would like to see why we are adjudged to be the most competitive in 2014, no? Although we're still in the top 10 in 2015, no? So there's something that we have to show them, no, to prove that we are worthy of the title that has been given to us, no. Now, in support of the activity, as chairman for programs, well, one of the things that we did is definitely we need information for the public, no, because the public is not very much aware of what the ASEAN integration really means, no. Actually, it's an opportunity and a challenge, no. Why? Because opportunity, our market will be bigger. We can now go to anywhere in Asia. No, you don't have to pay taxes if you export our products. No, in the same manner, they can also export to the Philippines, and they also do not have to pay taxes. No, so that becomes a challenge. No, actually, as a CPA, I can get clients from anywhere in Asia, part of the ASEAN. No, but they can also get clients from the Philippines. No? So it's supposed to be a challenge and an opportunity, no? So we have to really work out, and we have invited Department of Trade and Industry and Department of Labor and also the Department of Tourism to discuss with us the effects and how can we participate, no? No, and be able to get a better climate on what this ASEAN integration really means, no? In addition to that, we're working on the PPP, and we have invited speakers from Manila, like Ayala, to speak to us on the public-private partnership, including STEAG, no? They'll give us a presentation on how it is done and what are the benefits that are derived from such an activity, no? So our program, that's our main program, but of course in the evening we have fellowship and other things, and we have prepared some activities for that.
So, nalungan naman nato no at this point ato ang ihatag ang floor sa ato ang mga friends. By the way, kauban nato this morning atong representative from Magnum Radio, from Bombo, and we have Katarungan News Weekly, Sunstar, and Gold Star. So, who would like to ask the first question? Butch?
Tackling also the very sensitive issue regarding privatization of government facilities vis-a-vis power, Kulangi and the Atmos facilities. So, if we could tackle that issue, I also want to know whether do we still welcome the coming in of more coal power plants, because I think as an observation is that Mindanao is now the haven for coal power plants, and we have, I think, so much of it already. And while other companies also are trying to establish mini hydros the run-of-river projects for our power requirements. So would you be also talking about partnership? Would the government be talking partnership with the private sector regarding the environmental effect of coal power plants in Mindanao?
So ang pinaka-strength gud sa region ang iyang strategic location. Among the regions in Mindanao, we are in the best position in terms of trading with Manila and even the rest of the world. So ang kuan pod nato ang benefit ni ana kay mas mubo ang atong cost for transport compared to the other regions. And besides that, our region is competitive in terms of manufacturing. Mao gyud na ang usa pod ka competitive edge sa Northern Mindanao kay kusog ang atong manufacturing sector diri sa part sa Mindanao. Kasi ang kung tan-aw nimo ang taon nato ang tibok Mindanao, ang usa ka duha ka regions ang ga-compete karon in terms of economic development. Kita ug ang Southern Mindanao, motong Davao region. Pero Davao is much more on the agri side with support services. But Northern Mindanao, ang iyang pinaka-strength, ang iyang existing manufacturing activities with already supported with services. Marami na ang atong services sector. And then we also have other support in the region such as our institutions, learning institutions that provide the human resource supply to the labor market, especially on agriculture, on business, on information technology. We have very competitive universities from the government and even the private sectors that provide this manpower. And that ingon nga ni DG, among Secretary sa NEDA, that our economy would grow more, the Philippines, because of the youth bulge. Dako kaayo sa atong portion sa atong population ang mga batanon nga mohatag sa ato og future source for labor in the market. Ug mao kana ang atong concern sa ASEAN to compete well in the ASEAN. Ingon nga si Sir Bobby ganiha nga a CPA in the Philippines can already serve the clients in other ASEAN countries. So dito sa convention, siguro matagaan kita og mga ideas kung unsaon nato ipalago ang atong education sector such that maging competitive kita o makakompete ta with the other ASEAN nations in terms of professions. So that's only one area, but kita gyud ang strength gyud sa atong region is on our manufacturing sector and strategic location.
In support of the point on how do you call it, strategic location, no? I think the figures are such that intra-regional trade among ASEAN is only 24%. Okay, if that can just be doubled to 48%, ang laki ng epekto niyan sa among all the ASEAN countries. And being in the center of the ASEAN trade corridors, no, being in Northern Mindanao, no, with our Mindanao International Container Port, we hope that this can spur more logistics and services, no, for the whole Philippines as well as the ASEAN neighbors, no. So intra-regional trade, no, and of course, as Madam May was saying, no, the how do you call it, consumption of the youth bulge, no. They're not only the people that will service the industries, but they also will be the ones consuming together with a very large middle income population of ASEAN. In fact, I understand it is now that the largest is equal actually to the United States already. The middle income, no, it's around 180 million people, no, and in the next 2 years, no, it may surpass even the combined middle income of U.S., Brazil, and I think even some other countries, no. So that middle income, which is growing at a fast pace because of the population of ASEAN, is a great market for intra-regional trade, no. So yun lang, thank you.
maybe we should not also forget about tourism, no, in our region. And well, for one, we've been known already to be the whitewater rafting capital of the country. But I'd like to bring it a little bit further because of the economic growth, no. The Philippines is one of the, well, has one of the higher growth economic. The growth rate of the Philippines is very high, no, as of the moment, and that is why it has been spurring a lot of economic development and growth throughout the country. But I think one of the areas that maybe Mindanao, I'd like to talk about Mindanao as a whole, that Mindanao probably can offer, since it has been always on the last, no, in terms of economic growth between the major islands of Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. Between the three major islands, Mindanao has always been the, well, last, no, always considered as the last priority in terms of if an investor comes over, it's always Mindanao that is the last, for several reasons. And one of the more pressing reasons in the past was the lack of power, no? And of course, underlining that is this stigma that Mindanao is always a troubled island, and it's always, when there is a problem in a very remote area, it's always Mindanao. It's not the area that's having a problem. Now, I think this will change in the sense that because of the shortage of power, a lot of the investors in generation have come already. And based on the numbers that we have, there will be not only ample, but a certain level of surplus of power in Mindanao. This will actually bring in more investments. However, as we've been saying always, when an investor comes, one of the major factors that they will have to consider is always the peace and order, no? But I think the government is now seriously taking a look on this concern, and I hope we can be able to come up with, we can meet on this and really address the problem on the peace and order, no? And though some of these problems are isolated, an investor would always take a look on when he brings in, when the expatriates come already, they always think of their safety, diba? And so things like that that's happening in Davao, like the Samal incident, is always a setback for us, no? And in an area that is perceived to be very peaceful, but there are these concerns, an expatriate who will be managing the, of course, the corporation that he will set up will always be threatened, no? So I think this is a good fora, this sixth National Convention of PSRs, and which is actually what Rudy and I were taking a look when we were in Iloilo, that we should bring in the PSR convention to Mindanao and show them that Mindanao is not what they think of, no? That there is a lot of potential, no? Not only potential, because we're no longer talking here of potential, because if we talk of power, the power is here already. If you talk of manufacturing, the manufacturing is here already. In fact, there are 3 large companies that are coming in our area, in our region. Some of it are in steel. The recently inaugurated Jacobi, which is actually a activated carbon factory, which is actually the largest in the world, no? Which is owned by Asahi Gas, no? And its parent company is a Swedish company. I mean, these things are actually very beneficial for our region and also Mindanao, because I think it's about time that Mindanao should start to grow. The ASEAN integration, hopefully, will be not only a threat, but also will be a, you know, it's going to be an opportunity for us to take advantage of. Meaning to say, if you are a construction firm based in Cagayan de Oro, you can now go to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand and set up a construction there and do the work there already. You know, that's basically a lot better, because if you're when you bring your business to Thailand, you're not only an OFW, you're already an investor in the sense that you are already there. And there is always this thinking that you will always go back, no? And not only go back, but also go back and bring the bacon. So I think that is what we are trying to drive at. Because it seems like there is only one side about the Asian integration that people look at, that it's always a threat. Because some people think that we are not ready for it, no? And but there is also another side that this could be an opportunity for everybody, because there are also jobs that the developed countries do not want to work on anymore, no? Especially on the labor market, no? Infrastructure, when there is so much labor involved, they don't like to do that anymore. So I think this will be a good fora for us to convince everybody, not only convince everybody that this could be an opportunity, as Bob here said, no, but this could also be a possible direction that the Filipinos can take in terms of bringing in their expertise and bringing it somewhere, no, in ASEAN. If you will notice, we've been sending all our workers to other countries. But why don't we now do the contracting? We're always employees. Why don't we now become the entrepreneurs and bring our labor force managed by Filipino entrepreneurs and bring them to Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and do the work that we're very good at, no?
Well, yung ASEAN integration, as I mentioned earlier, I always look at it as a challenge and an opportunity. No? First is, out of the 5 provinces in northern Mindanao, 2 are included in the 20 poorest province in the country. No? That's Misamis Occidental and Lanao. No? And that is a challenge for us that, we should uplift it, because our economy is, basically we're competing with Southern Philippines, no? And sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're slightly down, but we always compete, no? But again, in spite of all of that, we still have the poorest provinces, no? And we should be able to uplift them. Now, there are some instances, like for example, as mentioned about the Samal team, no? Well, of course, it's isolated. It's far from Cagayan de Oro, but it has affected us. Because the thing about it is that it's true that we can now work in other ASEAN countries, no? But even their helpers can come in already, no? To compete with their kasambahay. So what do we have to do? Yung kasambahay, we have to improve, give them skills so that they will become better than the other countries, no? And they become more competitive. Well, sad to say, they become more competitive when they go to other countries. That's why TESDA is conducting seminars for kasambahay to upgrade their skills, no? And
Actually, the issue on and concern on privatization is not really part of the agenda, but we have a sample of a private and a public partnership project, no, which is the Stayag State Power coal plant, no. What will be presented there is that how the government and the private sector work out this project, no, the Stayag coal plant. Now, the concern regarding privatization is not part of the agenda. However, it could be brought up during that because this is a build, operate, and transfer project. So in the end, government will be left managing and owning the plant, and the concern will be is that what does government think? What is government's direction? Will it privatize the plant? Will it only privatize the output of the plant? No. So I think recently the thrust of government is to have a private the private sector manage the output of the plant, because the asset, the plant itself, will still be owned by government. I think that's also what happened to the geothermal plant in Davao. No? Now, the problem ang good in 2010 was that the concern was immediate. What is the fastest plant that you can put up? the fastest plant that you can put up is a diesel plant. Actually, even faster, the fastest plant to put up is still your solar plant, because the solar plant can be put up almost overnight, no? But it can only give you power in the morning, not in the evening. And so, what's happening right now is that the investors in generation, when they opened it up already, were thinking, what is the best possible plant that they can put? And what they thought of was coal plant, no? Coal plants. And so, we have now we're very happy that because in 2010, when we started calling for investors, there were no investors. The investors did not like to come. I'll give you a perfect example, as I've said earlier. The investors in generation who had the funds were looking on the 3 islands they would put their investments. And guess what was the last island they were thinking of investment? Not Luzon, not Visayas. Mindanao was the last. That's why most of the investments went to the Visayas, no? And it was only now when the, well, if I may say, the shortage was really on a critical level, that they did not have to do the arithmetics anymore, because the demand was already there. Kaya brown out na magyod, no? And then what they did was really just put in the plants. And mind you, it's not easy to put a coal plant, no? Because they're, well, I hope you can be able to listen to the experience of STEAG, because I think they had tons and tons of government requirements that they had to go through, no? And mind you, government is very strict in terms of emission. And what's nice now is that the new plants are more efficient. Kana lang ako masul. And it's also nice to have as our chairman. Our chairman, by the way, is Governor Khalid de Mapuro, no? So Governor Khalid will bring in another dimension to the convention, because he probably may have to speak also about the concern regarding our Muslim brothers, no, on the BBL, which is still hanging. What is an alternative for the BBL? And then how do we address this concern regarding seceding from the government, no? So I think he can bring in a new paradigm, since most of his constituents are from our Muslim brothers. Well, I hope I was able to do justice on your question, but you know, these are just our thoughts. But what we'd like to concretize here is that the investments are already in the region, no?
Some laws not fitting to our development. Would the convention lobby for Congress, whatever legislation needed, to support development in the country, or perhaps in Mindanao or in the region? Because one of the kinky issues being brought out every time there is a concern of investment is because of the ownership of properties, especially when there is a foreign investor coming in. So are you going to ask Congress to examine or perhaps review our laws regarding investment and regarding development, regional development?
Yeah, that was tackled in a pre-conference workshop, no, among the PSRs. And those sensitive issues, I think, are going to be brought, like the economic provision of the law, no, on the Constitution. But let us be more circumspect, no, in articulating this, no, because I think this is something that is very important, but also will require a lot of discussions again, no. Some of these concerns, no, that have been brought up during the workshop was how to put more meat, no, in the inclusive growth, no. Like, for example, land use policy, you know, overlapping claims, no, among ancestral domains, DAR, CLOAS, DA, etc. No? And the objective really in terms of the RDC is to find the lowest hanging fruit, no? To be able to look at ways and means of making available large tracts of land, no? And this is part of the Economic Development Committee thrust, no? Which also reviews some of the ancestral domain laws, no? But as you very well know, we are very realistic in the sense that we realize that any legal amendments, no, will require more articulation and discussion, no? But certainly this is not to be how do you call it, overlooked. Another thing I want to mention to you is that, Butch, no, it's very important that you realize you have mentioned to us that there's going to be a change in the energy mix, no? And our STEAG in the pre-workshop where we had a session with STEAG mentioned the issue of ash, no, which is going to be a tremendous challenge, no, for all of the coal plants, no. And I think this is a challenge to be able to utilize them and to be able to yes, put value, or at least put them in proper use of the waste of these coal plants, no, which is a concern of the environmentalists, no. But you know, development, it comes at a price, no. If you want a 3-year production, I mean project, how do you call it, time period, no, to be able to catch projects, it was necessary that coal plants be used, no, to be able to not to stymie development in our part of the country, you know. So that's a given in this situation. Thank you.
Maybe with regards to recommendations for changes in the laws, yes, but to be more practical, no, there are a lot of other things that can be discussed, no, which kasi yung land ownership, that to go to the Constitution, and that's something that's more difficult to amend, no. But like for example, you're talking of power. If you want to put up a hydropower, you need 132 signatures, no? And that's even been brought up to Congress, no? Na we want power, we want it done faster, but you know, you need 132 signatures just to be able to complete your application, no? So those are some of the things that probably can be looked into. Now the other one is, you always talk about problems with customs, no? You need 21 signatures, no?
Good morning. Dari para English at sekarang kan, we have 175 participants. Out of them, almost credit na sector. Ngayon naman, there is private partnership.
All of them are
Private partnership and the
all of them are private sector.
private sector.
All of them are private sector.
All private.
This is private sector representative conference.
Okay. I was on surprise why in Singapore they got to sugar. Their service is not rich. It is not 1,005. Thailand. What is the reason why? There is because of labor, I think that is higher than in the Philippines.
I'm not.
The Philippines.
I'm not very familiar with it, no? But what we've heard is, one is the problem in the Philippines is that the government is so protective of industries, no? So for example, in the sugar industry, we're so protective with the sugar industry, you cannot import, no? And therefore, there is no incentive to improve the processes. The two plants that we have in Malaybalay, at least what we're talking about is the one here in Region 10, no? It's been there for the last, 40 years. So its efficiency is already very low. That's the reason why in Thailand, they're more efficient. That's one of the reasons that was given to us, no? The other one is, cost of fertilizer. No? Again, the cost of fertilizer maybe in Thailand is lower than the cost of fertilizer in the Philippines. No? In fact, it's not only in sugar, even in rice. No, we import rice, and actually, when you look at it, part of the rice that is imported costs less than what we can produce. In fact, there are some people who are saying, why should we try to produce rice? Just buy rice if it's going to be lower, and produce something else on our land which can be competitive in other areas. No, why compete with Thailand and Vietnam on rice? Like for example in Vietnam, when you talk of rice in Vietnam, no, they have the Mekong River, so they have irrigated land. They can plant all year round. No, in Balay, how many is irrigated? Then you have to wait for the season. You only plant twice a year because of the rainy season. No, so our cost is a bit higher than what they can produce.
Okay. Is there any chance for us to be competitive in the ASEAN business?
It's difficult to say. Well, one of the things is we have to upgrade. No, the other thing is we have to look into our strength and where we can become more competitive. Because actually, what we want to do with ASEAN is complementary. We do not want to compete. If their expertise is on rice, fine, no. But how about the other agricultural products, no, which we can produce here, no, and which we can export to them, no. So it's supposed to be something like more complementary, no, instead of competing.
Tourism. I think there is no facility. I think the only capital is to improve our tourism spots. Is there any tourism, again, tourism as the best industry in Northern Mindanao?
I think the best example actually with maybe some comments is actually the place where we are bringing the private sectors to representatives to, which is the Hilayan. Actually, that is a development that is private-led with a lot of inputs, also support from the LGUs. No? And right now, it's a bustling tourism haven, no, for Northern Mindanao. In fact, it gets people from Manila, adventure seekers, as well as in Southern Mindanao. No? And this is from an area that was really denuded forest land, no, below the foothills of Mount Kitanlad, no, and the development is real, and the farm to market road, the improvement of the roads, no, are evident, so that a lot of tourists are going there, no. So that's an example, no. Now with regards to the convergence areas, which, you know, the ones the roads going to tourist destinations, I think the RDC, with the participation of the private sector, are really monitoring this development so that, you know, tourism spots are more accessible to domestic as well as foreign tourists. So yun ang ano, I don't know, maybe some of my colleagues would like to add to that.
Tourism is dismissed. It will improve our economy in Region 10. Back to infrastructure. Let's go back to Lagintingan Airport. After that one, it remains to be listed airport. I said one of the problem in the airport, because we have only three kilometers traffic. It should be expanded to 5 kilometers. But the problem is there's no financing. So we have to do that. How long could we? How long could we?
Actually, there is a build, add, and maintain, how do you call it, bid
OEM.
terms of reference, OEM, no? As he was saying, no, for Laguindingan. It's been bundled with 2 other airports. It's already in the works, no? There will be expansion. It's a 14 billion project, no? It will be funded by the private sector, and it will include the expansion of the passenger terminal, the cargo bay, and hopefully the extension of by 400 meters of the runway. But most important, I think, is the private sector management of the marketing of the airport, no, which hopefully will be already closed, no, before the next administration leaves this, and it's very important that we keep our fingers crossed that this will be a project that will be continued without much roadblocks, no.
Can I just add a bit, no?
Yes, sir.
Your concern is the private sector's concern when we meet at the Regional Development Council.
Very good.
Mag-meeting gani ang Regional Development Council, unsa may mulo sa private sector. So among giingon nga kanang airport dapat international na unta na siya, kay kung international airport na siya, pwede naman ang mga other airlines makadiretso din, no? Dili na tama to sa Cebu to go to Hong Kong or uban pa. Labi na nga naanay Asian integration. Maglisod kita magdala patag tao ng mga trabahante kay natay kontrata sa Malaysia, mapit pa ta sa Cebu, no? Mapit pa ta sa Manila, diretso na. So mo na siya ang among trabaho nga kung naagali proyekto nga ang kaapanalitan nga expand nila, among gatanahon. In fact, ang private sector magyud naglabi, makadumduman mo siguro nga ang Oro Chamber ang naglabi atong gibalhin nata sa lagindingan nga wala pa magalira, wala pa yung mga suga, no? Dili pa siya ready. So private sector driven gyud na siya, no? Ang isa ka major nga proyekto nga atong gitan-aw sad nga gilunsad sa gobyerno kining Panggil Bridge, no? Kana siya dugay na kay na siya nga proyekto nga karon tuiga amo na gyud ang gipangusgan kay ang ferry paingon dito sa Osamis hurdle man siya sa development, kanang dugay ba unya dayon unya maglinya ka na ikaw na primero dia napay mauna sa imo tungod kay siguro dako yang ranggo kung sa baka daghan ang mulo ana. So among giaksyonan na sa RDC na ato na kanang i-prioritize, magbutang na kita og proyekto dia naanay ahadapit manukad aha na mo dagpak ang tulay kay para well, we hope no during our term this will really be started, no? Oh, so nasugdan na gyud in town, no? So mulo na ang role sa private sector.
The airport, no, ay isang problema sa one of the things that we noticed in the Philippines, and he mentioned Panggil Bay, no? That's been in the drawing board for a long time, no? Actually, itong airport natin, under the plans, 10 years after it is constructed, they should expand because the volume will go up. But it took us 13 years to be able to complete it. So, delayed na tayo. Dapat 3 years ago, nag-expand na tayo pero wala pa nga airport eh. Originally yan, in fact, they changed it. Originally, nakasulat yan, Lagindingan International Airport eh. No, but because of the delay, one thing that happened is because of the delay, instead of renegotiating for the loan, sinorten nila yung runway by 100 meters, by 400 meters, kaya 2,100 lang yun eh. Dapat 2,500, no? So they cut short some of the items just so it will fit the budget instead of renegotiating, which will take longer, no? So yun ang nakikita natin problema, masyado siyang delayed ang development. So hopefully, at the moment we've heard there might be foreign aircrafts that would come in from Busan. Ang tinitignan baka chartered flights. No, in fact, even last year, DTI was telling us that there were words na request for chartered flights to come in, no? But recently, ang nadinig namin, Busan, Korea. But we do not know how they will divide the airport because pagka meron kang international, you cannot mix it with the local, domestic. Kailangan mo immigration, kailangan mo ng customs. No? It's a bit more complicated, no? But we're hoping that in the next few years, maging international siya.
Helper ho, kasambahay. At you want to tourist the skill of the domestic helper. So you want to be trained more and then receive higher pay.
Doon sa wage board kasi meron kami tinatawag ngayon na two-tiered wage system, no? That means in addition to the minimum wage, you can adjust the wages of workers because of certain instances, no? So insofar as kasambahay are concerned, we're saying that kung meron siyang additional skills, like for example, she's able to, yung caregiver, no? Pwede na siyang maging caregiver. Dapat meron siyang additional kasi kung ang trabaho niya kasambahay but she takes care of an elderly people, no? She can also have skills on caregiver. No, kung meron siyang caregiver na skills, dapat mas mataas ang rate niya than the ordinary kasambahay.
We have this public and private partnership, and I think what you're doing is very good. So my question is, kung sa may kabuhato na to, para mawala kining picture without to make a community livable, we have to rid this community of environs that are breeding grounds for criminals. So, ang ako mga, let's make our community a livable place. Tabangan nato sila. I think ang mga dato nato, nagkupra naman siya ng kwarta. Let's do something to eradicate this kind of phenomenon.
Let me immediately respond to that. No, I think it's a question that's very important and that must be addressed. No? And even today with climate change and the flooding of the river, no, overflow of the river, there are some barangays actually in the river side, no, that may have to be moved out, no, because of dangers to, in other words, no settlers should be in flood-prone areas, no, in harm's way. Knowing therefore this fact that is self-evident to everyone, I think there is a need, no, to have a concerted effort, no, first of all to define the parameters for the solution. Like number one is land. Where do you get the land? You know, from public properties, because there is a tendency for people to hold on to the land, no, and ask for very high rates, to speculative rates, when there is a no. So that's a main issue. And number two is actually the funds necessary to put meat into these developments, no. And last but not least, actually, is the agency, no, to implement such a program, which will really, how would you call it, cut across local at saka national government, no. And from my own point of view, I think there is some sort of lack of whole government approach in this area, no. In other words, there has to be a concerted effort between the public and the private sector, as well as the NHA, you know, the Gawad Kalinga, etc., has had a model that helps a lot, no, but it's not quite enough, no, for the problems that Ben has defined, no. So my only comment, therefore, is there should be a meeting of committed and concerned citizens as well as partners, both in local government, national government, and the private sector, no.
PIA when I was a teenager, I heard this story about Hong Kong, how their economy developed to become what is today. Nga ang home industry bitaw, and naipanya nga makahimos tayo ng produkto, itrain nila ang mga tao nga dito sa palahimoon, umaana, electric apon. Nganong dili man ako ni kwan sa business sector, no, nganong dili man nato mahimo nga mangita kag pamaagi nga nay negosyo nga pwede na himuon sa balay, no. Kaya mahimo na sa balay lang, nakatagag create of job, and then dili pa mag-distribute kung kadalanan kaya naman sila diha.
I heard one time nung nagsimula pa yung coconut sugar, I understand, I don't know in what area it is, individuals make their own sugar and then they bring it to one center. And then they consolidate it, and this the cooperative or something that sells it, but they are produced individually in the houses. So there's things that can be done. Yes, I agree. There's things that can be done, no? But ang kwan nga siguro ngayon, there's a moving Congress to come out with social responsibility. Ang nangyayari kasi diyan, kaya may problema, no? Meron kang foundation. You have a foundation, you want to help these people, no? Yun, kunyari, sasabihin natin, you make your own dishwashing liquid. We will consolidate it and then we will be the one to sell it. Under the PIA rules, when you conduct a regular business, that's taxable. No? So, pagka nagtayo ka ng ganon, you as a businessman, if I do that, I buy it from them, then sell it. So, I'm already taxable, but, you know, I'm trying to help these people.
Wala
no?
sarili.
Wala. Yun ang sinasabi na pinag-aaralan daw sa Congress to come out with a law to put some exemptions na para to mga foundations can help organize these people.
Kang sa Nedan, Mami, they're limiting the concession to the M&A. Pero I remember several months ago, naihatag kita ang DTI sa mga barangay at mga gamit para sa mga bamboo, parang bukan. Nangutan ako sa DTI, saan may resultado? They cannot come up with a report nga nanay naghimo ana, they come up with a product nga exportable or marketable, nana pa wala. Wala follow up. So in other words, government just create a project or programs without follow up. Okay, gusto mo yung anak, gantag ng kamera, pero tama na di, hatagan ang bahala ng gudihan mo rin mo nana ba? Murag kisod yung nana.
Actually, dili ko familiar sa imong concern, sir, about that project. But I know that there are certain projects involving the community. So we have the bottom-up budgeting. That's a program implemented by the National Anti-Poverty Commission with the support of the Department of Interior Local Government, as well as agencies like the SWD, DTI, DA, and so on. So the bottom-up budgeting program is a mechanism by which the communities themselves, especially the poor, identify the projects that they would want to be implemented that will address their concerns, yung mga needs nila dito sa barangay. Out of that, this will be proposed to certain agencies, like for example, the Department of Agriculture, if that community happens to be in an agriculture area. So, kani siya i-release sa LGU, but we have support of the civil society organization because there is a partnership of the CSO with these communities and the local government units. Kung kana siguro ang imong giingon nga project, baka BUB na siya nga project siguro. But I am not familiar, but there is this program that would address that concern. Kay ganiha raman ta nag-istorya o kanang inclusive development. Mao nang isa ka programa karon sa atong administration, ang bottom-up budgeting program that would address yung inclusive growth through poverty reduction action planning and implementation of the projects. But be assured that these concerns are monitored by the Regional Development Council. So naatay Economic Development Committee, gimension po sa atong mga PSRs that are looking into those specific projects, and we will see to it that we will try to check on those concerns about that livelihood project provided by the Department of Trade and Industry. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Patrick Tablan from Bumbuda. And sir, pangutan na lang dapat kung unsa yung action or ginsa to ni or unsa yung action regarding ng incident yung nitabo sa Salay, sa lipaton sa Salaksag kung asa tunay mga schools dito under sa kuan nga wala pa siya naman sir. pero nahugmo ang iyang taas na part. But fortunately, wala man kinangol. Tapos, may nabi mo na ko ang division engineer sa DepEd. Tapos, iyang naingon dito, sir, nga katong projects is under sa public-private partnership. DepEd na nilang facility. Tapos, under sa inyong school infrastructure program, sir.
What actually, if you ask me for that particular incident, I have no idea, no? But from what I know, ang ginawa ng DepEd sa public-private partnership, they bidded out the construction of school buildings, no? So most probably, if you're saying private sector ang nagtayo niyan, those are one of the winning bidders. But in that particular case, I really have no idea, no? But normally, kung government yan, even under PPP, they're responsible in reconstructing it, no? Otherwise, they will not be paid, no? Ang kwan lang dyan, if there is anything, there should be, the government should be more particular in inspecting that pagka PPP na ganyan, they should be using materials that are approved by yung approved specification, you know? Kasi baka under specs yung mga materials na ginamit, which could be the reason we don't really know, no?
Gusto lang ko makibalo, are members of the RDC coming from the private sector voting members? And who are these people who would qualify as members of the private sector representatives?
Yung private sector representative, first, for you to qualify, you must be sponsored by, you must be accredited, you must be sponsored, then the sponsoring organization must be accredited by RDC. There is a guideline, no? So every year that is done, it's open to the private sector, no? Mga Chamber of Commerce, mga like PICPA, yung professional organizations, Balay Mindanao, and other things, they can apply for accreditation. There's a criteria. And once it is approved, they become members of, they become private sector representative. Then from there, there are certain positions in the RDC where they can become members, no? So, ine-elect yan normally, we elect two who would normally be the co-chair and the vice chair for the private sector. And then for each, there are 4 divisions. For each 4 divisions, there is a private sector representative as co-chair and vice chair, no? Ito ang voting members ng full RDC.
Ang creation ba sa RDC-PSR is within the Charter of NEDA?
RDC. It's RDC.
It's RDC.
It's RDC.
So it can be, I'm asking that so I would know if it will be sustainable, because when it comes to other administration, government administration, it can be dissolved anytime.
20.
Ang creation ba sa RDC-PSR is within the Charter of NEDA?
RDC. It's RDC.
It's RDC.
It's RDC.
So it can be, I'm asking that so I would know if it will be sustainable, because when it comes to other administration, government administration, it can be dissolved anytime.
20% ng membership ng RDC is private sector.
Actually, the RDC was created under the Article 10, Section 14 of the 1987 Constitution, which actually specifies the creation of the Regional Development Council to accelerate economic and social growth. And so, the private sector actually, if I may just read na lang from my notes, the coordination actually is on the policies and public investments, and then activities in the implementation, prioritization of projects, programs, investments, monitoring and evaluation of programs, and then to assist the LGU. Muna ang trabaho lugar. Sa ato pa, as I've said earlier, kami lugar ang because before you can be a PSR member of the RDC, you have to go through accreditation. It's quite a long process, no? And then you have to tell the NEDA and the RDC board, what you have done in the past. Number one, you should have a track record. You're registered in the SEC. You're a Filipino organization. Di mo pwedeng foreign. So, and then, but the most important thing when we were accredited, like Promocidio, I think was on the past record, that track record, and the contribution to the community. Like for example, ang ilan ni Bob is professional man. And then si Rudy represents the Oro Chamber, of course, the track record. And then I represent Promocidio, no? Now I'm a trustee. Our president now is Ruben Vega Friaman. So we have to go through an accreditation. The PICPA has been there for a long time, also the chamber. But some of them are recent members, no? But they have to go through a very rigid accreditation process. So, thank you.
And we have a very substantive discussion, and in behalf of PIA, would like to thank our guests this morning for coming over. So to formally close our media forum, we'd like to request Rudy Minies.
We just like to invite media, no, to articulate, support, explain what the private sector's representatives' role in the council. It's very important for us to be heard. We are part of the voting members, but we are a minority in effect. But rest assured that all the private sector representatives are vocal in their advocacy for certain concerns of the private sector, which is really the engine of growth, no, in each of the economies. So with the 6th National Convention, we hope to be able to bring to fore, again, the best practices and the learnings so that we may be able to, again, replicate this in other areas and also learn it, the learnings also to be replicated in Region 10 to redound to the success of our development efforts in the area. Thank you.
So much everyone. Also sa ato ang matisunod diha sa tagsa nila kapanimalay no sa delayed telecast ini sa Parasat Cable TV. We would like to thank you and invite you sa sunod na pod-usab nga mga topics that we'll discuss every Saturday 5:30 p.m. So daghang salamat.
Para sa Asia, tayo na lang ang hindi nagpapatupad ng K-12. Good news dahil mabubura na ang Pilipinas sa listahan ng mga bansang hindi nagpapatupad nito. Ang tanong, alam mo ba ang K-12? Ganito kasi yun. Ang K-12 ay binubuo ng kindergarten, 6 na taon sa elementarya at 6 na taon rin sa high school. Sa ganitong klase ng sistema, mas matututukan ng mga estudyante ang mga interes at gusto nila dahil magdadagdag rin ng subjects na pang-college. Merong 4 na tracks ang pwede nilang pagpilian: academic, technical, vocational, livelihood, sports, at arts and design. Sa ilalim ng academic tracks ay business, accounting, and management or BAM. Humanities and Social Sciences or HUSS, Strand, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics or STEM, at General Academic Strand. Sa ilalim naman ng Techni-Vocational Livelihood track ay Agri-Fisheries Arts, Home Economics, Information and Communication Technology, at Industrial Arts. Ibig sabihin, mas makakapag-isip sila kung ano talaga ang gusto nilang kurso pagdating sa kolehiyo. Sa katunayan nga, as of 2012, mahigit 62 million na libro at mahigit 1 million na upuan naman ang nai-deliver sa mga paaralan sa buong Pilipinas. Samantalang noong 2013, mayroon na mahigit 60,000 classrooms na ang naipatayo at as of 2014, mahigit 100,000 na guro naman ang na-hire. Naidagdag din ang paggamit ng mother tongue languages mula kindergarten hanggang grade 3 sa ilang lugar sa bansa. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bumisita sa www.gov.ph at www.deped.gov.ph.